Welcome, I'm Bev Adams. I own an independent paper crafting business showcasing products from Stampin' Up. I made this fun card with all the wiggly bees with products from Stampin' Up. I sell these products and also a few items to make crafting more convenient. I have the free detailed directions for this project on my website, and you can just print it off for yourself. It's got all the detailed directions. I also have links for all the products that I used, and if you click those links, it'll take you to my online store at Stampin' Up. So there's no need to take notes. It's time to put stamps, ink, and paper together. I decided to use nearly everything in this suite, and it's got these cute little bees, and so I use the colors as my starting point. So I have the pool party, I have the sweet sorbet, and daffodil delight. I also used smoky slate because I wanted a light gray for the wings, and I wanted to make it so that it was all the same ink, and I decided that I really thought that the bees should be blacker than they are. And this has all kinds of cute little faces for your bees. Let's get started. The first thing you want to do is to make this spiral. And I've kind of drawn out how to make the spiral, but let me tell you about it too. The first thing you want to do, and it's so hard to see this window sheet, so that's another reason why I made this. The first thing you want to do is cut your corners off in this arc, and it does not have to be anywhere close to perfect. I don't know if you can see that, but it's nowhere close to a perfect circle. And then I want to cut in and go in around in a spiral. So I'm going in about a ½ inch and then just going around. And if you want to go the other direction, that's okay with me. I'm left-handed and this seemed right to me. And of course we can always just flip it over, go the other way around. And when you get all the way around about a ½ inch, as you're approaching where you started, you want to cut in a little bit. Oh, that's a big cut. And go down a little bit narrower, so maybe 3/8 of an inch. Go around again. See if I can get my spiral out of my way. And as I'm coming around again, I'm going to go a little bit narrower, so maybe a ½ inch. And it's not critical at all. I just found it was easier as the spiral circles get smaller. It seemed to stretch out a little bit more evenly if you got a little bit narrower each time around. And you can just stop wherever you want, and that's fine. I don't know if you can see this at all. I've stopped so that there's about almost a ½ inch there. And then I have this piece right here, shown here in my diagram, and I'm just going to whack that off. So I want to do my bee body not in the smoky slate, but in black. So I'm going to just put my wings here. And I do want my wings in the smoky slate. So I'm setting it on there. And this is here mostly for spacing. I'm not really going to be using the little heart. So I've got that there, and I'm going to pick it up with my block, and I'm going to flip it over and make sure that it stayed put. Pretty good. And like I said, mainly I'm doing this for the wings. I'm going to stamp on this strip of basic white. I'm going to stamp my bee bodies in Memento Black, and I want to be sure and have this pointy part facing to the right so it works with the punch better. But I guess with the strip it doesn't matter. I need 5 bee bodies. And I want to be sure and leave space for the rest of the body. And then I'm going to stamp my wings. And I am, like I said, leaving that heart here just for spacing. I want to have at least 12 sets of wings. I could actually have put these much closer together. 4 of these wing sets are actually going to be flowers, so I'm going to stamp those with Daffodil Delight. And that will be these heart shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And while I have the Daffodil Delight out, I will stamp the bee bodies and also in Daffodil Delight. And then I want to punch out all of my wings and my bees. I also want 1 blank heart. So I have my 5 bee bodies, my 4 yellow hearts. I have 8 stamped hearts and 1 plain heart. I have a sponge dauber, and with the sweet sorbet, you could stamp and punch this one, but I'm just going to do this on the blank one, and I'm going to go around the edges. And you can decide if you want to do more ink or not. So this one's just around the edge. This one's pretty red, so maybe I'll go a little bit redder. How much red is up to you? I think I like it with not very much. I have 2 pieces of basic white, and these are both going to go on the inside of my card. And I am going to use Pool Party, and I'm going to sort of mimic the little flight paths. I'm going to do mostly the top half, top 2/3, and I want to kind of turn it around and go different directions. And then I want to do the bottom of this one. And you could actually kind of stamp between the two if you want to kind of continue. And again, I'm turning it around so we have different patterns. So I have my card base, and I'm going to put this bottom one on the bottom. and this one on the top. So that we've got this kind of center section stamped. And let me stamp my greeting. And I do want that in the dark. And this set does have quite a few Valentines, or just love you, or you make my heart buzz. You're as sweet as honey, but I'm going to go traditional and go Happy Valentine's Day. But I do want this, I'm going to do it a little different than I did on my sample, and I'm going to do this all the way down to the bottom. Then I'm going to put this pattern, the one with the little bees. This paper is so cute. And it's not just for Valentine's Day. There's some honey. Before I put this up one, I do have a 1/2 inch punch. This is a retired Stampin' Up! Punch. And I don't save very many retired products. I like to save room in my craft room for new things. You'll have a hard time getting this out of my hands along with other circle punches. But if you do not have a 1/2 inch circle punch, I have a list of things that have what I think will be good flower centers here. Artistic dies, beach day dies, darling details, paper florist, seaside bay, seasonal branches, translucent florals. See if you have a die that's about the right size to make a flower center. So I'm going to just punch my flower center. And of course it went flying, so I'm going to punch another one out of the other side. Then I'm going to glue my greeting on, and hopefully I don't get the glue going through those holes. This is a very small, narrow border. I usually have an 1/8 inch border. I'm going to put this onto the front of my card with dimensionals, and you'll never know that I punched those holes there. So I'm going to put this on the front, pretty much centered. And that grabbed on there, but I think that's pretty good. And the reason I did this really low is I wanted to put my flower lower. When I did these flowers, I'll show you what I did. I did 2 and 2 like that, but I do think I want it more in a spiral. And so I'm kind of finding the center there, but I do want my flower lower than it was on this card. And I think for spacing, it is probably easier to put them 2 and 2 together. And I could probably even tuck this under to be in a total spiral. And I'm going to find my flower center and put it in the center. I did not use dimensionals on here. I tend to not use layers and layers with dimensionals. They go through the post office better if you don't. I'm going to put my heart down here in the corner. So the faces can make these bees go any direction you want, and I want them to be up here. And you could totally use all the different faces, but I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm just going to use the same face. And I am going to use the Memento Black ink. So I'm going to have this bee facing this way, and this bee facing this way. And so I'm going to put my wings on top. like so. I'm putting one dimensional between the wings and the bee body just to make sure that those hold still. And I'm going to go ahead and put, this is, again, I'm probably using way more dimensionals than I need. So I'm putting this bee way up here in the corner, so my flower shows a little bit better, and this bee up here, so they're flying toward each other. Happy Valentines. And then I have these cute hearts and flowers, and I'm going to use a little red heart for this one. And now for our fun inside part. I think you are going to want tear and tape for this part. Again, you can decide which way you want your spiral to go. My other one went this way, seemed to work out nicely, but you want the spiral, the end of your spiral, to be near the bottom. So I'm putting a little piece of tear and tape on my spiral underneath and put that end at the bottom, and I want to be sure and keep this all within the size of the card. And then I want a little piece of tear and tape in the center of my spiral. Take off the backing. Oh, and that's a little harder to take off the backing. So I'm using my Take Pick tool. And I'm just going to close that card so that when I open it up, we've got this spiral stretching across. And we're going to want one bee here, and I want to cover that up. So I'm going to have him flying in that way. And I want this bee to be kind of facing this way. I said 5 bees, but I used 5 bees on the inside, so I need 7 bees. I need to change my directions, and I need to stamp some more bees. Okay, I have my more bees, so I'm going to want one going on the center of the card, one going up this way, and then let's see how I had these guys arranged. So I have one coming in this way, one going in this way, one going up, and another one going up. So I have them kind of more or less like that. And so now, it's just a matter of changing the way the smiles are going. And I want this guy going down, I think. You just don't want them all going the same way. And I do find it best to have the faces near the bottom of that yellow section. And I do have one extra. I'm going to do myself a favor and put these on here. So I'm going to put 2 wings going this way for this guy. And so I'm picking them up one at a time. And if I need to adjust, I can. And I do think you do want these flat in here, and honestly, I think it's going to be best if you use tear and tape for these bees. This one is going to help hold down end of that window sheet spiral. So I'm using an extra large piece of tear and tape there. And this guy is also holding down the window sheet. And so I do want to cover up any adhesive that might be there and make sure that the window sheet spiral is coming up, not getting caught under that bee. And these guys can be flying around however you want. But when you put the tear and tape on these, I think that you're going to want to put just a little piece, like a 1/2 inch or so, onto the spiral, because you don't want to have any of the adhesive going over the edge. And I do want to make sure that when I put it down here, that it's staying in the size of the body. So you want to see where this is open and put your bees, like whether to put it this way or this way. Most of these will be facing down when the card is closed. And I want to be sure that I'm staying within the size of the card. So every now and then, close it up and make sure I'm still here. So there's my bees. Yay! Happy Valentine's Day. Here is the web address for this project, where you'll find the free detailed directions and links for the products I used. Just click the links and you'll be taken to my online store at Stampin' Up! Click Home near the top of my page and you'll find lots of resources. Under Shop, you can find the products I offer to make crafting more convenient. How to get free products with my frequent shopper rewards, and a link to my online store at Stampin' Up! Click Inspiration to scroll all my projects back to 2011, most with detailed directions and videos. Though the products in those older projects have been retired, you may find techniques, layouts, or color combinations to inspire you today. If you're new to stamping, you might want to look at the basics. You'll find how to cut card bases and layers, and some of my favorite tools. Under Organization, you'll find lots of free resources such as catalog tabs, labels and case inserts, color tools, and much more. More organization means more time for stamping. You can learn about my Evernote notebook. I have a note for every current product that Stampin' Up! Has for sale right now. It really makes finding just exactly what you want very easy. And you can create your own notebook and search through all of the things that you own to find just what you need. Come stamp with me here in Ventura County, California, or get the best deal of all and join my team of crafters. The team is called SIP Together, and it stands for Stamps, Ink, and Paper Together. Be sure to subscribe to my website and on my YouTube channel. I'd love to hear your comments. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you soon.